Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while since I've uploaded a video. Things have been beyond crazy. If you follow me on social media at all, then you would have seen that the boys literally have been keeping me on my toes with school and everything. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be doing this video for you guys. I had hoped that I could include them, and that's why I waited so long to film it, but I just didn't get around to it. About a week ago, the twins had a book character day at school, and basically what it was that they had to choose a book that they loved and do a kind of costume based on the character that they loved in the book. And Luke and Isaiah both picked Dr. Seuss books. Let's see, Luke picked Green Eggs and Ham, and Isaiah picked The Cat in the Hat. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a picture somewhere over here so you guys can see how they looked. And I wanted to kind of explain to you how I DIY'd their props and what I did. I didn't get a chance to film an actual video because it kind of was an impromptu type of deal on how I put it all together. If you guys have been following me a while, you know that I don't have a sewing machine, so any sewing that I do literally is by hand, and the stitching is just something that I learned from my mom. She didn't have a sewing machine either, so she stitched a lot of things by hand. And if I couldn't do that, then I'm pulling out my trusty hot glue gun and putting things together. So I'm gonna go ahead and kind of show you what I did to create the boys' projects, or kind of explain to you and show you and kind of give you the price rundown for what I did. So if you want to see how I put together their character book days or book character days, whatever you want to call it, then just keep watching. So as I mentioned before, the boys both chose books from Dr. Seuss. So we're gonna start off with Isaiah's, which probably was the easiest for me to figure out what it is I wanted to do with it. I went ahead, as you could see in the picture, I put him in a black t-shirt. It was a kind of chilly day that day, so he wore a pair of just regular jeans. But what I did was I made him a bow to put around his neck, and this is the bow. And I also made him a Dr. Seuss's hat, which is right here. Can you see it? So here's the Dr. Seuss hat. What I did to create these was take felt, and I also took some foam core, which I already had at home. I cut the foam core to be round, or semi-round, because what I was using was felt sheets. So if you go to some place like Walmart or your craft store, you will see where they have those felt sheets. They're kind of like the size of an 8x10. That's what I picked up because I couldn't find the large felt rolls. I wish I could, because it would have made things a little bit easier, but I picked up a bunch of felt sheets. For the white, what I did was take to make the brim of the hat, I just took foam core, put it on the inside, and glued it. So I put two pieces of felt together and glued them together with hot glue. That's why I love using felt too, because the hot glue takes very well to it. And then I cut strips of the red and white felt. So I'm going to turn the hat inside out. I cut strips of the red and white felt and I stitched them, but if you look at all of these, each individual lines here, I actually hot glued that. It was faster for me to do, and then I went ahead and I stitched the sides, so you can see the hand stitching along the sides right here. And I went ahead and stitched along the sides. For the top part, I cut out an oval shape. You could definitely do it circle. Isaiah is very tiny. Both boys are. But they have larger heads because they are twins, and the whole liquid thing I've explained around their heads are a little bit bigger than your average kid their age, and they're in kindergarten. I wanted it to be more oval shaped than round. That way it would look like the hat was kind of slouchy, which made it perfect for them. It matched the size. It made the hat look kind of oversized, which made it a little bit more cartoonish and a little bit more fun. And so I took that piece and just glued it, hot glued it around the corners on the top. So as I stitched it, you can see the parts where it's gathered here, so that when you turn it inside out, or turn it the right way, it came out perfect. So that's what it looks like. And for the actual top part, like I said, I went ahead and glued foam core on the inside so the brim would be steady enough to stay on his head. And that was his costume, basically. Super easy. For the bow, all I did was take a strip of white. I just cut out what looked like the shape of a bow on the red, went ahead and traced it with permanent marker black to outline the bow. I cut a slit on one side, and then I went ahead and just stitched in a red button on the other side so that he could easily take it off or on without any problem. And this worked out really easy. He loved it. The boys wore their costume all day. After I picked them up from school, we went to the store and they walked around with it. They absolutely loved it. While I had the idea of what I wanted to do for Isaiah's pretty much down pack, Luke's I needed to spend a little bit more time with. His sign was very easy. I just took a wooden dowel and some foam core. We've had this in the house for a while, so as you can see, the boys have written on it. And I just kind of cut it out like how Sam's sign is in the book. Wrote Sam I Am, and then I kind of did little marks over here so it would look like in the book. And that was his sign. For his hat, it was a little bit more of a challenge. Again, like I said, I had felt sheets, I guess you would call them, and not necessarily a whole large sheet of felt. So I took literally scraps and pieces left that I had. You can see he drew on it already, boys. And I just hot glued it. So if you turn it inside out, I had 1/2 sheet and then 2 full sizes, which I ended up hot gluing this one as well all the way, because I just found that using the hot glue to stitch it together was a lot faster than if I were to stitch it by hand, so it worked out that way. And I just lined up the pieces so that these 2 lines, 2 sheets, were connected on each side. And then I took that 1 sheet, cut it in a triangle type shape, and stitched each corner together, again with the hot glue. So when he had it on, if you look at the book, Sam I Am has what almost looks like an elf's hat. It has an odd type of curve to it, and I wasn't really able to get it specifically the way I wanted it to. So when it sat on his head, I don't think it'll fit my head. When it sat on its head, it sat like this, and then we just kind of tucked it back like that. And then if he wanted to, he could fold the top up. That's how we did that. So it kind of looked almost similar. I had him use a yellow shirt that actually had a print, some wording on it, so he used it backwards, so the yellow was all in the front. And then I went ahead and made his green eggs and ham, and this was easy but not. I basically took some foam core again and cut that into the plate shape. If you wanted to, you could use an actual plate, but for me, it was just easier for me to cover foam core because we don't really have paper plates in our house, honestly. And I went ahead and took yellow felt. I went with yellow because I wanted it to kind of balance off the red that he had in his hat, and this yellow was different from his shirt, so I had hoped that it would stand out some. I made the eggs out of felt again. I just cut out the pieces and then cut the green and put that as the yolk. For the ham, all I did was take some spare felt. I took a triangle shape green felt, stitched it together with, again, hot glue so you can kind of see the stitching. Took the triangle shape, turned it inside, or the right side because I had it inside out when I stitched it, shoved some spare felt that I had in there from scraps, and just kind of stitched it again with the hot glue together. Put a little white thing so it looked like the bone from the ham, and that's what you got. I took some of my elastic that I had in my craft drawer, just kind of tied it and hot glued it to here so that if he was parading around school or whatever they decided that day, he could put it on his hand and not worry about anything since he was already holding his sign. So that is how simple this literally was to make. I do a lot of DIY stuff for the boys because a lot of the times I already have the supplies needed to get this done. I did have to go out and buy felt for them because I didn't have some of the colors and I didn't have enough red. So I went to go get some, but overall at each felt sheet was 25 cents a piece, and I got one sheet of the yellow, one sheet of the green. I got 5 sheets of the red, 5 or 6 sheets of the white. So again, very little amounts. I already had the dowels on hand as well as the foam core, but if I were to buy the dowels, they probably would have been 99 cents to $1.10 for the package, which came with several. And if I had to buy the foam core, Walmart will usually have it for about $1 for a really large sheet. So I would be able to do everything that I needed with the foam core. So overall, this entire project, including the shirts that they had, again, Isaiah had an all black shirt, Luke had a yellow shirt, almost neon yellow. Those shirts were probably $3 or $4. Again, something they already had. The project itself was probably $15 at the most. I had a hot glue gun, I had hot glue sticks on hand, I already had needle and thread on hand, so I was able to use what I had. It's super affordable, and if you guys are looking for Halloween costumes next year or the years moving forward, I know a lot of schools do have character days for dressing up and so forth. This is such an easy project to put together, and the boys absolutely loved it. Like I said, I'll put the picture of how their outfit came and was put together here somewhere, and I'm also going to be putting the link to that or the pictures on my blog, so check down below in the description box. But I wanted to share that with you guys. I thought it was fun. The boys loved it, and my plan was to share it with them so they could kind of tell you how they liked it, but we just haven't had the chance to it. But I wanted to go ahead and share that with you anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope to be bringing you guys similar videos to these in the future. And yeah, if you guys try anything like this, definitely let me know, and I will see you guys in my next one. Have a great one, guys. Bye.